Greetings everyone, my name is Dr. Jason Freeman. I'd like to welcome you all to my channel. In this video I'll be reviewing the 2024 film Monkey Man, directed and starring first-time director Dev Patel, and produced by Jordan Peele, known for Get Out, Us, and Nope. I'll tell you what I liked about the film, I'm going to tell you what I didn't really like about the film, then I'll tell you why I think you should see the film or just skip it. So let's just get to it. The thing I liked most about the film was the story. Now this will probably come as a surprise to most of the people seeing this video. If you've seen the trailer, it's very action focused. You see mainly the action sequences in the trailer, but throughout the film you have action sequences paired with long parts of the film that's really just dedicated to the story. So what is the story? Well, the best way I can describe the story is that it's very similar to a song by the music group The Decemberists called the Mariner's Revenge Song. I'll leave a link to the song in the description of this video, but basically in the song you have this the narrator of the song, the person singing the song, which is the narrator of the story. They're telling the story about how their mother was wronged by this man and eventually died indirectly from it, or died as a result of it. And the narrator spending his entire life getting revenge on this man for his mother. And so that's basically the story of this film. So you have this unnamed protagonist. When you go to IMDb, it's simply called the Kid. And in the film, he's never really given a real name. He gives a name that's obviously a false name, Bobby, but you don't really get his real name. And so, you know, he's on this journey for revenge, and pretty much all the points of the story is about this vengeance tale, getting a revenge on this man who essentially killed his mother. And what really makes this work is that you see the inciting incident. It's revealed in the film, and you understand the pain and the anger that this man is going through. He's been going through it his entire life. He literally has scars from that incident. And so Dev Patel does a great job in portraying this character, and you feel for him and you cheer for him when he does get revenge. And it's very much, he is the hero of the story. To me, he's an unambiguous hero, that there's no point in the film where it's like, man, you just give it up. No, it's very much he has a mission and you want him to fulfill this mission. The second thing I really liked about this film is the action. Now you can see a lot of the action pieces in the trailer. So if you look at the trailer, all that's in the film. It's very much has these really interesting action pieces. The action pieces in regards to the violence are very graphic. Now I would say it's not as graphic as, say, an episode of The Boys on Amazon, but it's getting there. And there's a couple incidents that would fit right in with that series. But a lot of the action is basically Dev Patel's character using like martial arts to, kick and chop and punch bad guys who go out just like that. The classic martial arts. You hit them one time and they're out. You don't see them anymore the rest of the movie. So there's a lot of that. And so I enjoyed it. It was fun. There are a couple sequences where it's almost like a first-person shooter where you're seeing through the eyes of Dev Patel, and he's going through and doing all the martial arts. He again punches a guy and he goes, flies, down some steps or flies through a window or something like that. So yeah, it's a lot of that. And if you love martial arts films, you love films that are graphically violent, including some pretty like close-up violent scenes, you'll love this film. The third thing I like about the film is how it was shot, the cinematography. And similar to what we see with the action sequences, you can see some of these extremely beautiful shots in the trailer, like the big cityscape. So you have one of the big main villains that's walking out and you see this big shot of the city in front of him. There's this scene where a vehicle goes past these people laying on the street, and you see like where they're sleeping on rise up, and this is a really close-up interesting shot. So there's a lot of these really beautiful, really cool shots in the film. And so, shout out to the cinematographer Sharon Mayer. He did a great job with this film, and so that's one of the things I really loved, is just how it looked. And so the last thing I liked about the film was how the Indian women were portrayed in the film. So growing up watching, say, Bollywood films or films that focus in on Indian society, Oftentimes the women were portrayed as helpless damsels. I loved how Indian women were portrayed in this film, Monkey Man, not just as damsels, but as fully fleshed out characters who had agency of their own. They could be heroic, they could be villainous, and somewhere in between. There's one particular female villain who is running this underground like club / brothel. I think her name is Queenie in the film. I don't remember exactly. I just looked at the IMDb. She's beautiful. She's foul-mouthed. She's dangerous. And when she's on screen, she's very compelling. Where I'm going to talk about some of the other villains weren't so much so, but with her, you knew something was going to happen, or there's potential of something happening when she was on the screen. So what didn't I like about the film? Well, what I didn't like, I'll say it like this. There is this infamous clip from Denzel Washington where he talks about a film that he passed up. Because in the film, they couldn't kill the particular character. They tried all these horrible ways, but they couldn't kill him. And basically, he called it this racial slur. I'm not going to say what it is. They couldn't kill. And that's basically what Dev Patel is in this film. Yeah, there were so many things they tried to do to kill this man. They shot him, they got stabbed, they hit him with a car. He was in a vehicle, they hit him with a car. When they shot him, he fell off a building. They tried their best to kill this man, but he won't go on down. They got absolutely ridiculous. It was so ridiculous that at one point they said, these injuries would have killed anybody else. And I'm thinking, yes. These injuries would have killed anybody else. This guy should not be alive. He should have got killed in the first half of the film. And I kind of wish they would have. So I think about the film The Joker, where at the end you have all these people putting on the Joker mask and kind of taking over his mantle as the Joker. And so I would have been fine if they had killed Dev Patel's character halfway through the film, and then all his followers, the people that kind of latched onto him, they would have went and did his mission for him, almost like symbolize, like almost like this religious movement, which they kind of allude to throughout this film. Because it would have made more sense with the stuff that he survived. It didn't make sense. And again, people were like laughing, like, how is he still alive? I'll say he was harder to kill than John McClane in the Die Hard movies, and that says a lot. John McClane survived a lot of stuff. All this, but this guy, Dev Patel, you know, the character, the kid, as he's named in IMDb, he was not dying. The second thing I didn't like about the film were the villains. Now, with the exception of the one female antagonist, I believe her name was Queenie. All the other villains were pretty one-dimensional. They very much reminded me of bosses in video games, where you have to basically beat the henchman and you got a big boss to take out. That's how they seem. Like, you don't really know much about them. You get a little bit of backstory, but they're very one-dimensional. And I don't know, and in particular with the police chief, Rana, if it was because that particular actor isn't a good actor, because I haven't really seen him. I know he was in, I think, RRR or something. It's one of those big films. I haven't seen it, but I don't know if he's just a bad actor or they just wrote him badly. And the third critique, or third thing I didn't like about the film, has more to do with how it was promoted than the film itself. They showed way too much in the trailer. Like, it was crazy. The scene where where Dev Patel's character goes to jump out the window, hits the window, bounces off. That fell flat in the theater because basically all of us had seen it in the trailers. The kitchen fight scene. The kitchen fight scene was awesome. The problem is it was in, I think, trailer 1. It was in trailer 2. There was a commercial during the Super Bowl where it was in. They released it on YouTube. And so there's a chance that you've seen this kitchen fight like four times, or four more times already. So when you see it in a movie, it's like, oh yeah, I saw that, the microwave, like you've seen it already. I would contrast it with, in Guardians of the Galaxy, there's a big battle between the Guardians and the forces of the High Evolutionary. They go in and they just go battle each other. I've seen that only, well, I've seen it twice at this point, but I saw it once in the theater. I had not seen it in any trailers. And so it was amazing. It was a really great moment in the film. And I feel like they threw away so many of those in this particular, in this movie where they showed everything in the trailer. Even the wrestling / MMA stuff, those parts were in the trailer as well. It's just like, leave. I mean, they did leave stuff for the match. They left stuff in the film that you don't see in the trailer. But I wish they had left a lot more. Just left a lot more ambiguous, because I think when you watch the film, it would have been a better experience had they just kept the stuff in the film more secret and had the trailer give maybe some broad things about it, but then leave the best stuff in the film. So, should you see this film or just skip it? I would say that if you love action films that are bloody, that are violent, where it's just a very simple story about a good guy trying to, save someone, or trying to be the, trying to avenge someone, you're going to love this film. And there's been other films. I mean, John Wick, with the dog, Old Boy. There's been a lot of films like this. I'm sure, the good guy comes in, they fight. And this one is very much the people kind of supporting. You see it in the trailer. The people kind of are supporting him, and then he goes, then the end of the movie. And so, yeah, so I would say this is a really good, very simple, very straightforward action film. I think about a comparison. I was talking about this in my out of the theater. Out of the theater first impression, it reminded me of how good Godzilla Minus One was. Very straightforward, very character-focused film. This is the same way with action, with really cool action pieces. Again, same thing here. So I'll definitely say go out and see this film. It's a fun film. Are the issues? I talked about those issues, especially with the villains and how far-fetched some of the things he survives is, that kind of could take you out at various points. But for the most part, I enjoyed the film. So yeah, definitely go see it. Now, if you found this review interesting and or informative, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. Also, please share this video. If there are other films you want me to review on this channel, please leave those suggestions in the comment section below. Thank you all for your time and have a wonderful rest of your day.